Alright, today we are at Rocky Glen OHV. I lied to OHV. Today we're going to do some sand riding, some track riding. We're going to start on the track, get warmed up here. But our main goal today is for riding on the sand, getting ready for Derek Hughes' Hare Scramble in September. So this is my first warm up here, my first lap. Trying not to take it too hard. Some of these littler jumps, I wish they were a little bit more peaked up. That'd be kind of cool, but
a little bit wet
as I get interrupted by myself. But the insides are really wet here, but as the day goes on, it dries out a little bit, so it's not that bad. There is one jump in the back that had a big kicker in it. I think just from rainfall. That I was not jumping. That was scaring me a little bit. And my suspension really isn't set up for that. Not saying that that's the whole reason, because I'm probably gonna wimp out on it anyway. I like this little lawn, like outside to inside. That was fun. That made me feel like Eli Tomac Millville 2022. If you guys get that reference.
That feels good.
See, when I'm not jumping super far, the suspension feels good, but when I kind of come into the jumps with a little bit more speed, it doesn't have as much hold up as I would need. So I get a little weary going into that. Almost tucked the front right there.
I don't know if you can tell, but that's really wet.
I think you could tell. But I almost tucked the front right there, so I'm going to go way outside in this mulch right here, get away from that wet stuff, kind of go at this a little differently. See, right here, sometimes I'm shifting down. I don't think I did it that time. That was second. Sometimes I am shifting into first, and I shouldn't be. I'm learning that while I'm riding. Yeah, look at that. I'm jumping over those braking bumps. Yeah, right here, big kicker.
Came off the peg.
Now we're gonna go away. We're gonna go into the woods here, go a little further. Rocky Glen, there's a big circle, so this is right off the circle.
Real slick, so you gotta be careful.
It's pretty muddy back in here. And immediately I just go right through the center of the puddle and get my entire back of my jersey soaked. And right here, I like this. You can go back up there, and that's actually pretty steep off camber, and that's a good tell for me, because with these tires, with these Kendo tires, I was so worried going from a Dunlop, and then I was on Maxxis, what the bike came with. I was really worried about that, and just the traction that I get when it's that muddy and sloppy, I was very happy with. So normally it's not quite like this, but I think the tractor tilled that up just because they did have a storm, so I think they tilled it up. So normally it's not as sloppy as that.
Alright.
Again, so really muddy. Honestly, when I watch myself with some of this stuff, I feel super controlled. I feel more like, in motocross terms, like a Jet Lawrence than I do a Eli Tomac. But like when I do stuff like this, Graham Jarvis would probably be riding on that little curb to the right there, but me, I'm just walking around it, and then I'm very, very calculated. And one thing I want to do next time I ride is work on hitting the send button a little bit. Maybe go for some lap times. Maybe work on some speed, some sprint speed. because my fitness is there and I think my skills are there. So I'm just walking around these puddles. You know, again, this is still when I first started riding, so this has got to be first 15 minutes I'm there. So, and this puddle's pretty deep actually. That's got to be maybe halfway up the fork guard. Sometimes when we're coming up to these crossings, I'm gonna rev the bike because I'm real worried that someone's gonna come across and hit me. One time there was a family going the wrong way and they actually ended up hitting my dad. He was alright, but I'm always gonna rev the bike just so people can hear me that I'm coming. And I try to make sure I'm going the right way on the trails, but sometimes the trail markers are hidden. So this is a little back section. It's kind of cool. They got some hills. It's more rocky back here, really getting that rocky glen. Yeah, so to the right there's some steep hills. There's even a back section that's a little steeper than this, but we're gonna cut in here. This is how you get to the little sand area. You can get there a different way, it's a little faster, but we'll do that later. But right now we're trying to get some trails in, warmed up. These four-wheeler trails can be really fun, just kind of popping in and out of the woods and back and forth and inside, outside of the tires that they got. So coming up here, I knew that was there. That always happens, so I knew that was there. And then right here there's a crossing, so you're gonna hear me rev it up, and I'm gonna wheelie across that. And I feel like amazing when I can do stuff like that, because you know, back in the day I wasn't doing stuff like that. So it's really my progression has gotten so much better, and I'm very happy. Alright, this is the sandbox, is what I call it, or the little sand track. Basically the four-wheelers just come in here and rip it up, but it's a lot of fun. You can do a lot of different things. It's almost like a playground. So it's pretty wet right now, but it's pretty wet. It's kind of stuck to the ground, stuck to itself. But the good thing about it is that it does move, and it gives me preparation to ride at Syracuse. And it's fun because I can do so many different things here. I can work on inside, outside. I can work on bumps. I can work on. Look at how tight this corner is. Like that's a really tight corner there. And then going into like a sweeper style, and then drop down like off camber stuff. It's a very good training tool for me right now, as I don't get to ride in sand as much as I would like to. And as the day goes on, it gets a little bit more loose. And this stuff's pretty loose. You can't really tell, but as the day goes on, more lines get in there, the more roughed up it'll get. You can definitely tell. You hear my back tire dragging there, and yeah. So I'm not really a back brake guy either. I'm a front brake guy. So when I'm dragging the back brake, it's a little loose. See, when I'm editing this, I look like I'm going so slow. Now that I'm watching it back, doing some voiceover, I don't look like I'm going that slow. But I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Again, this is just practice, training, getting ready. So I'm not trying to be blistering fast. All I'm trying to be is controlled, have good technique on the bike, and I think I have good technique. but I am struggling with the sand aspect of it because, like I said, I'm a front brake guy. My suspension's a little softer. In the sand, you want to, have that compression a little bit more hard in the sand so it doesn't blow out the turns as much. So my bike isn't really set up for that, but honestly, that's okay. I want to get used to my bike in the sand rather than have the bike set up for the sand and me suck. So this is why I'm doing this. I haven't made any changes to the bike. One change I would want to make, sometimes in here you'll see me almost tuck the front a little bit. So around some of these corners, I might tuck the front, or I don't actually fall today at all, but I may start washing the front. One thing I do want to change is I want to try tightening my steering stem a little bit, not crushing the bearing, but tightening it a little bit so where I can have a little bit more stability in the corners, especially in those tight corners just like that. That's one thing I want to do. Another thing I want to do, if that doesn't quite get me the results I want, is maybe make a suspension change. Chris Kiefer has some good podcasts on Spotify, like right there, a little bit more stability. But anyway, Chris Kiefer has some good podcasts on Spotify about suspension settings, and I highly recommend going to watch that. So this is the second time I go out. So those suspension settings I was saying, if I make those setting changes, what I might want to do is I might want to I might want to take away some rebound to the bike, make that clicks out, so then I'm slowing down the rebound so my front tire isn't so skippy coming into corners. And what I'll tell you is there's a corner here, and this is what I'm talking about. I get to do a different, right here, this corner, I kind of make two ruts right there, and they're hard to get into because it gets really soft and it's really tight, and normally ruts wouldn't be that tight, but since we're able to work on things, I'm trying to. And you see me take a deep breath there, try to get it, back in, try to get a little bit more controlled. See, again, right there, I think tightening that steering stem will help me a little bit. Another thing I want to say is, sometimes I shift down to first into these corners when I think I should just stay in second. Maybe this corner is up first. Look at that. So, previous lap I go there, absolutely suck in the corner. That lap I nail it, inside line, don't dab the foot at all. So back to what I was saying is, I think sometimes I shift down to first. Like right now I'm in first, and then that's second, and then I'm on it. I should just stay in second and not shift down. That's one thing I wanted to tell you guys is, that one was alright. That not as good as the last one, but that was alright. One thing I want to say to you guys is that most guys, you have no idea what gear they're in when you're watching footage. Most of this time I'm in second, click down to first, and it gets me a good drive right there, but then I have to shift right away. So I might as well just stay in second, and then just give it a little feather of the clutch to get it back in the power. And I'm going to go straight here, around this. Yeah, see right there, almost tucked the front. A little stability I'm lacking. See, if you were wondering how soft it is very soft. And then I struggle here because look, I'm pushing the front, my back tire is stuck. It is very soft right there. So
if you wanted to know how loose it was, that's how loose it is.
Yeah, it is pretty loose. So it is a good riding area for me to get some practice in. See, I can't tell if it's the GoPro stability or if it's just me. there's a good line. I'll come back around. Oh, that one was subpar. Can't tell if it's the GoPro or if it's just me. But it does look very stable. I would venture to say that it's probably more the GoPro than me. But yeah, so that was a good training day. I cut it down a lot. I had probably over an hour worth of footage. Cut down to 16 minutes, but yeah, so now I'm done. I want to thank you guys for watching, and yeah. Alright, I thought I'd just show you the new KlIM gear. I'm now a brand ambassador for KlIM, so I already wore the gear, but man, I really like this, so I just wanted to show you guys. This is the Mojave jersey. It's got like a little harder mesh material on the sleeves. It's good so you don't rip it, and it's really breathable. In the torso, in the back, it just allows a little bit more airflow in, and man, these sleeves hold up really well, so I just want to show you guys that. So, alright, thank you guys for watching.